Hello, this presentation is something I've created for middle school assembly just to get students to think about the importance of ATLs a little bit more. So I'm going to just skip through because it might be something that other teachers are interested in doing in their schools. So I'm going to start off by telling the students that we asked teachers what is the point of school, and this was done in some ATL training recently. Then each slide has screenshots and the post-it notes they had. Obviously, I'm not going to read them all or go through every single one. I'll probably spend a little bit more on this page, and then I'll go through a little bit quicker on the next ones. But I will make sure that the students get a link to this presentation so they can see it in greater depth. The next thing I'm going to say is that it's aligned with our school's mission statement. I'm going to ask the students if they remember any parts of the mission statement. If not, I might open it up and go through it a little bit. And also the IB learner profile. So I might even actually go back and look for some of those words like caring and communicator and put them back on the bottom of this slide as well. So overwhelmingly, the information showed that teachers think the point of school is to develop lifelong learners. So what does that look like? And this is what teachers say again. And again, I'll focus on this first slide and then I'll go quickly through the next slides. And again, you'll see some kind of repeated words here. I mean, curious comes up 4 times on this page. You can see curious again here, as well as some of the IB learner profile words like inquirer, open-minded, etc. So all the answers I've shown for both those questions are correct, but they're all different. So we need to make sure that we're all on the same page so that we can reach this goal. So how can we do that? Well, that's why we have the IB's approaches to learning. So I'm going to show them this description of the approaches to learning from principles into practice, and I will just point out this is learning how to learn, learning independently and to work with others, and that it provides a common language for students and teachers to reflect on. So with the common language, I will just say like it's really good for students. If you're struggling with a particular ATL, you can use this language to help you seek help. If you are getting feedback that you're not being self-managed or not organising yourself properly in class, for example, you could ask your teacher to be more specific and they can give you more language to help. It's something that's useful in reports. And it's something really useful for student reflection. So here I tell them that the ATLs are broken into these 5 main categories, and it's the same in the PYP and the DP. And I'll say, can someone describe to me how you know you've been using thinking skills? And I choose thinking skills because I think that sounds the most abstract to students. Often with research, they can know it's looking at primary and secondary sources or citing, but thinking sounds kind of vague. And when you have asked to reflect on your thinking, sometimes it can make students panic. So I'll get them to do that, and then I will show them that the IB breaks these skills down further. So for example, if you were going to talk about your creative thinking skills or your critical thinking skills, your transfer, that might be a little bit easier. And then I'm going to give them an example of how the skills are broken down further. So I'll show them that we're looking at social and collaboration, and I'm going to show them this here. Obviously the way it's on the screen, even though it's going to be blown up pretty big for the auditorium, I will just read 1 or 2. I'm going to say, advocating for one's own rights and needs, giving and receiving meaningful feedback, and a lot of the students will be familiar with these terms. They've heard them in class, they've heard them from the counsellors, they've heard them from our principal, but just knowing that these are a certain set of skills that we want our students to have might be useful to them. What we're going to do then is say that your teachers will be helping you develop these skills, but we're also going to start giving you new techniques in middle school. And I'm going to do the first one, which is practice strategies to reduce stress and anxiety. So it's one of those effective skills. Often this is done through explicit teaching, maybe an advisory, maybe from the counsellors. It's not always done through subjects. And the way that I'm going to get them to do this is I'm going to show them the Headspace app. It's an app that gives them short meditations and mindfulness activities. It even has meditation for younger kids. It has really beautiful graphics. There's certain meditations you can listen to as you go to sleep that night or maybe before an exam, and I'm going to talk to them about that tool. Hopefully after this, this will be taken over by middle school assembly reps. Maybe they'll have an ATL to focus on each week. Obviously, it's going to be a shorter presentation because it might just be the ATL skill for today and then a way to practice that skill. So hopefully this will be something that we continue using. It's going to help us make this more of a shared language and students will enjoy it. If you have any questions, please send them to me.